And next, roadmap for machine learning. This is the roadmap for machine learning. First of all, these are all the basics, getting familiar with fundamental theories, just like standard deviation, linear algebra, statistics, probability. And second step, understanding machine learning algorithms. These are algorithms just like linear regression, logistic regression, vector machines, clustering, association, etc. And then selecting machine learning basis, just like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, classification, recognition, imitating. After that, we can learn the libraries of machine learning. That means scikit-learn, Theano, TensorFlow, PyTorch, etc. And last step, getting your hands dirty with projects. That means if you started projects on machine learning, no one will stop you. And I can see your faces from that. I mean, that just like who are afraid of mathematics? Oh no. Just one thing, without mathematics, you can't become anything in CS industry. That means mathematics is everywhere in CS. And are you the student who hates maths? Just telling my friend, maths is just like an antidoteless virus. It won't let you go. If you are a CS student, better start learning maths from now. It's never been late for learning everything. And make them virus as your friend. And hope you learn mathematics from now. And next up, we can start our main topics like types of machine learning. Speaking of virus, it looks like a coronavirus, right? Don't worry, I can elaborate this diagram into parts and parts. From this, we have three types of machine learning. First one is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforced learning. First one, we start from supervised learning. Supervised learning is just like a basic definition. Basically, supervised learning is when we teach or train the machine using the data that is well labeled, which means some data is already tagged with the correct answer. That means, for example, here are the labeled data that we give to the machine as when we train. The machine will analyze it and find the patterns. And we give an input which is not labeled, and it takes the input and finds the patterns and thinks, yay, it's an apple. It is how supervised learning works. And there are also types in supervised learning: classification, regression. Firstly, classification. Machine learning classification refers to predictive modeling problem where a class label is predicted for a given example of input data. That means here we give three data, which is orange data, green data, and blue data. The machine will classify three data and draw a line from these three and divide these three data into classes. That means class of orange class, and class of green color, and class of blue color. Just like that, the regression. Regression is a supervised machine learning technique which is used to predict continuous values. The ultimate goal of regression algorithm is to plot the best fit line or best fit curve. Don't worry, I can explain the best fit line or curve. Here, this is the best fit line. That means we use this line to predict the future output. That means here are some input and output data. We can cast this in the graph and draw a best fit line, and as this line goes forward, we can predict the future from these points. This is how regression works, and this is the difference between classification and regression. Classification works on dividing the data into classes. Meanwhile, the regression works on defining a best fit line and predicting the future. This is the example, basic example. For example, I give a machine these 6 inputs. This is a duck, this is a duck, and this is definitely not a duck, and a duck, not duck, not duck. This data is given while learning the machine, teaching the machine. The machine will analyze with supervised learning, and if we give an input just like this, and the model will predict the output and it is a duck. That means the machine predicts the output and gives the correct answer. Advantages. There are many advantages while using the supervised learning, just like collecting the data and analyzing and labeling the data, which is very easy to understand by the machine. Meanwhile, the disadvantages, if you have many data, if you have many data to label, that means it is a huge work to label the data, which takes a long time, and this is the only disadvantage of supervised learning. కొంచెం కట్ చేసుకోండి, సారీ. And this is the basic disadvantage and only disadvantage of supervised learning.